Thank you. Thank you very much. I have got a presentation. I'll just upload that. Uh, this makes me, it is a great pleasure for me to be part of this August gathering. I am thankful to Ambassador Sujan Chinoy uh, for inviting me for this session. I am also grateful to Manohar Parrikar Institute for Defense Studies and Analysis. I'm also thankful to Reti for organizing this timely event. So my focus would be on the this changing sets of India-Japan economic relationship, possibility of trade and investment in the GVC sector. At the very outset, I would like to say that uh, the entire global economy was very adversely affected because of the pandemic. Growth prospects of the global economy has gone down drastically, and its impact one can see in both India and Japan. India, it was predicted that growth rate would go down to minus 10.4%. With the third quarterly result, things have moved off. There is better prospects. Similarly, China, Japan also had similar problems with the growth disruption in the supply chain, and that has really affected many sectors of the economy and also the supply to the rest of the world. I will come back to these points again. So this is time, as Ambassador Chine said, that we should now work together. Uh, I would like to say that very soon, by 2035, India would join among the top four uh, big economies of the world. And the time has come that we should work together. I think to move this, we have got already India-Japan SEPA, which can really push us to a better level of cooperation. The scheme of presentation as follows: the impact of COVID on the global economy and how India would catch up with the rest of the world and how it would emerge as a major economic power in 2035. The implications of GBC sector for both Japan and India, and how we can really cooperate to tap the existing synergies between both the countries. Then the progress in the SEPA and the trade opportunities in the global value chain sector, both for Japan and India in each other's market. And the last point I would focus on that how Japan can help India in terms of its indigenization program in the manufacturing sector. So, as discussed in the past session, the past lecture, the impact of COVID-19 has got a very devastating impact on the world economy. The major six economies, Japan, Korea, US, Italy, Germany, and China, have very badly affected by the global supply chain. And by doing so, they have not only affected their own economies in terms of reducing the level of economic activities, but that has also stalled the production process in the rest of the world. Even those countries who are not affected by such pandemics that dearly, they're also grossly affected because of supply disruption. So there are cases as Ambassador Chinoy said, that Japan and other economies are very strongly trying for the diversification of their industries to relocate in other places. Even the stimulus package by different countries, including Japan, has also helped their manufacturing units to relocate to safer locations. India is also adversely affected because of the pandemic. And JETRO has very rightly estimated that how Japanese companies in India are affected adversely because of this. And because of the reduction in the output in India and other parts of the world, the investment possibilities are again postponed by many Japanese firms. So, so now one can see that the relationship between India and Japan has been very strong. Under AGC, both the countries are very strongly tied up, RIS area and JETRO work together to advance the concept of AGC, where Japanese business interest in Africa can be very well be taken up by expanding its manufacturing activities in India and getting market access in Africa using the strong network that India has got with Africa. The AGC program is also very consistent with the look policy of Japan, and that would really help in terms of getting access into remote areas like Africa and Middle East in terms of investment. Now, the existing SIPA 2021 between both the countries could be the driver for such activities, if not AGC. Now, there is a discussion about Indo-Pacific. So under the new forum, that can also be pursued. But definitely, the SIPA could be quite useful in terms of greater engagement in both the countries. We have seen because of SEPA, which was signed in 2011, led to very strong liberalization trends, both in terms of goods and services. In different services sector, Japan also offered huge concession for Indian companies. Now, in bilateral economic partnership, India is already considered as a strategic partner with Japan. So Japan's role in India in terms of its infrastructure development is quite substantial, and there is a strong complementarity, particularly in the technology sector, existing between both the countries. India has got a huge market, manufacturing base, large middle income group. I think some of them are discussed by Ambassador Chinoy, and also the kind of Japanese finance to various sectors, particularly power, road, highways, shipping, and other sectors. That has really cemented the ties between both the countries. Education is also another one where there could be bilateral cooperation. Now, technology played a very important role in India's economic development, and Japan played a very important role in terms of bringing new technologies to Indian manufacturing sector. JBIC ranked India as one of the most a desirable place for business. I think with the power of Japan in technology and economic areas, and India's proved position in manufacturing, software technologies, and other areas, can really develop a strong synergies between both the countries. Government of India, as Ambassador China said, that has given a long list of sectors where Japan can very effectively work. So I think these are some of the important areas where both the countries can work together. GPC is one area which is badly disrupted during the period. Several sectors, ICT, automobiles, health sector, are very adversely affected because of the pandemic. So there is a need for more better engagement between both the countries to address the issue of uh, supply bottleneck. Now, that as I said, that India has a very better track record in terms of growth. It really got a very high growth rate since its liberalization in 1991 and broke Hindu rate growth of 3.5%. And now it has the average growth rate grew to 6.6%. Even during the deep recession, particularly the second phase of recession, India did pretty well by registering 6.8% growth in average during the period of 2008 to 18. So looking at various macroeconomic fundamentals, whether inflation, openness, current account deficit, or outward FDI, India has really becoming a very important economy in the world. So our projection showed that by 2035, India would emerge as the third largest economy, and in 2035, its GDP would reach around $13 trillion. So other economies would be lagging behind, and this development clearly indicates that the power of both the economies, and they can really work together, and the process should start from now. Now, looking at the trade relationship between both the countries, it is clearly indicating that India is linkages with Japan is very strong. It is growing very fast, and particularly after SEPA in 2011, things have moved. But trade deficit is a major challenge for India. We also don't buy the argument that bilateral trade deficit is important as long as it is competitive. So that way, it has really strengthened bilateral relationship. But the fact is that our bilateral export is covering very little segment of the total imports that India is importing from Japan. That's a major concern. Now, if we look at the GBC trade of India with the rest of the world, that the sector is growing fast, both in terms of imports and exports. Import is growing more faster than that of its exports. But only one can see in 2019, there is a sharp decline in its imports of GBC products globally. But I hope, again, this should really recover. One can see in the second phase of recession, the curvature of a growth path of India's imports from the rest of the world is very sharp. So that clearly indicates that the import would grow up in the near future. Uh, this gives the bilateral trade between both the countries in GBC segments. Japan has got huge exports to India, and India's export to Japan is small, but it is growing and consistent. That is a great thing one can see. Looking at India's growing importance of GBC in the trade sector with Japan, it clearly indicates that semi-processed segment of intermediate was very strong between both the countries. But in recent years, parts and components have really surged very sharply, that one can see. We have estimated that what is the competitiveness that India has got in Japan in the GBC sector. So we have taken products at 6 digit and also used the modified binarian trade creation model. Using that, we found that in the GBC sector alone, India has got a trade potential of $7.5 billion per annum. The largest segment could be machinery, followed by automobiles, as Ambassador Chinoy said, and also precision metal instruments. There are other contribution can come from other sectors like plastics, base metals, textiles and clothing, and other sectors. Now, some of the important products which we have estimated can really drive our bilateral relationship, particularly in the GBC sector. Now, India has got huge difficulties in terms of trade concentration in certain areas, certain products. So India wanted to diversify to other locations. So here we have identified there are nearly 327 products where the products are pretty large in terms of India's imports from the rest of the world. It is more than 50 million or above. So these products we wanted to diversify. We have seen in case of Japan taking its export structure in 2019 that nearly about 65 products out of these 227 products where Japan can really augment its exports to India. There are other segments, nearly 221 products one can see from the screen, that in different areas where Japan is also engaged with India in those areas. So there is huge opportunities for Japan to access Indian market. Now, there are certain areas where there is large demand in India, but at the same time, there is very less opportunities to diversify such products globally. So India wanted to indigenize some of those products in a diversified sectors. Nearly 193 such products out of 327 products, what I said earlier, where India wanted to diversify. And those are into various sectors, but they are primarily located in machinery, base metal, and chemicals. And other products are very thinly spread into other sectors. So in those areas, India may seek Japanese support in terms of technological support to indigenize India's manufacturing program. Now, this is my last slide, that though Japan has got huge investment in India, India is also have got very small investment in Japan. They are into various sectors. Primarily, it is in the services and the manufacturing sector. But in service sector is quite large. In recent years, it is growing. That is the given trend. So, in the form of way forward, I can see that COVID has disrupted a global value chain to a very large extent, and that requires alternative source of supply. And India could be one for Japanese market. Japan also badly suffered from such disruption, and it can choose India under the existing India-Japan SEPA. Now, the SEPA that we have signed in 2011 has been quite rewarding, and that has really strengthened our economic ties over the decade. Now, since India is going to become third largest economy by 2035 or by 2040, uh, 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 since we have got very strong economic ties between both the countries, that kind of economic relationship should grow from the present level. In the GBC sector, which is small and growing for India, India can really contribute or can grow as a alternative source of supply to Japan. In large number of sectors and products, India is competitive, and India is competitive. We have estimated, not I have not presented the results. India is more competitive than Japan in many areas. So India can be preferred vis-a-vis other countries where Japan is taking some initiation to diversify its firm to relocate. So thank you very much.